Hello and welcome. Tonight we're going to talk about 3 ways that you can get more from those Facebook business page posts that you're making. So your Facebook posts, whether it's text, video, live, recorded, whatever, should work as hard as you do, right? Like just like money. Money should be making money for you. Your post should be making contact with your audience for you. And in this video, we'll talk about 3 ways you can get more mileage from those Facebook business posts that you're working so hard on. But first, we have to start the show officially. And that did not work. Okay, we'll do it old school. Let's try it this way. Okay, so your Facebook posts, you're working on them really hard. I know that. And you're doing your regular text posts, right? You're doing maybe recorded videos that you're uploading. Maybe you're doing live. You should think about doing live. But the point of this video is the fact that your posts need to be working just as hard as you do, right? They need to be out there working for you all the time, reaching out to your existing client base, connecting with potential clients, just letting people know that you're there, reminding them, keeping you in the front of their minds. So we're going to talk about 3 ways that you can do this really easy with the existing content you've got. I know a lot of people get kind of overwhelmed. We'll go with that for the word. They get overwhelmed because they feel like the content management engine is a beast that just needs to be filled all the time and it'll never ever stop. And frankly, that's the way that you're going to get burned out, right? Now, I'm not saying, obviously, that you're not going to create new content. Of course you are. But the point is, you don't have to be cranking out new content every minute of every day, right? You've got a business to run. Let's be real about this. There needs to be a little balance. And the fact of the matter is, you've got really good content out there, and to do it once and put it out there and think you're done is really shortchanging yourself, your audience, and your content. What you want to do is take the previous content that you've used and make minor adjustments to it, make a little effort, here and there, much smaller than the original effort, so that you're getting much more out of it and that other people are getting a chance to see it, or people who maybe missed it the first time, get to see it. The point is, it can do more for you than it's done. Not that it hasn't done a wonderful job so far. But let's go a little bit farther with it, right? You want to get the full value of everything that you create, of everything you put into your business, right? So think about it this way. Some people may not have seen whatever it was you posted. They just didn't see it at all. Some people may have seen it, been busy, and put it in that, I'll come back to this later file, right, which never ever gets revisited. Or some people may not have needed it when it was first out there, but now they do. So whichever bucket this is going to fall into, make sure that you're getting it back out there again to serve that part of your audience that, for whatever reason, didn't or couldn't spend the time with it first time around. Maybe the 2nd or the 8th or the 10th or the 50th time will be the charm. But the only way that's going to happen is if you make the effort to get it out there. Because if you just do it and let it sit there, it will sit there echoing in the silence forever. So we're going to start off with some real simple things, and then we're going to build up the things that take just a little bit more. But the thing to remember is that everything we're going to talk about tonight applies to the content you did yesterday, 6 months ago, or even a year or more ago. Okay, so all of the content you've done can have new life by just doing these 3 things. All right, let me go forward here. So the first thing we're going to start off with is blog posts. Okay, blog posts are a great way to repurpose your Facebook business page posts. So, whether you've just put up, something informational or inspirational, maybe you did a live, maybe you did a recorded video, what you want to do is take one nugget out of whatever it was that you posted, whatever it was. You can always turn it into a blog post. So take one piece of it, not the whole thing, write a short blog post on it, a paragraph, maybe 2, right? Go a little bit deeper, not much, just a little bit deeper into that one thing. And then mention that for more about that topic, you're providing the video. And then you're going to embed the video for them in that blog post. So let's go ahead and I'm going to show you how to get the embed code for your Facebook post, because it's not as intuitive as I would like it to be. It's Facebook. So hang on one second while I switch our worlds here. Okay, so let's actually go back to the top of this. So this is my page, which hopefully you've seen, right? So the first thing I want to tell you is you're not crazy when you think that every time you click on a post in Facebook, different things can or can't happen, right? Or every time you try to do something on purpose, I'm sure I'm not the only one. You get frustrated because it's like, wait, why can't I do this here? So let's take this one. Let's take last week's show, right? So you see that this is the video I did. So if I wanted to repurpose this, if I wanted to get that embed code to turn this into a blog post, I would think that since this is here, I would be able to click on this and get it. And of course, it's not here, right? We've got 3 options here. None of them are the embed. So you say, all right, fine. Maybe because that's a spotlight, there's special rules here. So then you go down farther and you're like, okay, well, wait, here it is again. Let me click on this. This has got even less options on it. This only has 2, and neither one of them is the embed. So you got to keep going. The reason I'm doing this is to show you that you skip all of that and go down to where your actual posts are. Okay, so you see where it says posts? And then you're going to keep going until you find the one that you want to use. And this is going to take a little bit because I've been posting content. So we got to keep going until we find the one we're looking for. Okay, so here it is. And now this time when you click on these dots, you're going to have more options. You're still not going to see the embed though. No, that would be too easy. You have to come here and say, see more options. Now, in different incarnations of Facebook, there have been easier ways to get to this. Right now, this is the only thing I can tell you will work consistently at the time that I am recording this, right? Facebook is always changing, so it may be in a different place, and that's why I showed you all these different things, because you will maybe have to click around to find it, and then once you find it, that's how it will be until Facebook changes it again. So you're going to click on see more options now, and in here, this is where you're going to get your embed option. And when you click on this, it's going to show you this line here. Now you have a choice. You could just take this as it is and go and embed it in whatever blog tool you're using. Depending on what it is, you may have to go into, it may say code mode or HTML mode, depends on which tool you're using. But the point is that this link here is what you need, okay? And you just can click on this little copy to clipboard and go into your blog tool, put it in, put your content in for your blog posts, and you'll be good to go. If you want a little bit more out of it, you do have the option of saying include full post, which will change the link here. You don't really see it because it changes off to the right. The other thing, if you really are a power user and you want to get in there and muck around a little bit more, you can go in, okay, and you can do some editing to it yourself. You don't have to do this. So if this freaks you out, don't worry about it. Don't worry. You don't have to do this. Just stay away from it. But if you are somebody who likes to get into the code and customize things, you do have that option. You just have to click a couple of times to get to it. So like I said, if you don't want it, don't use it. Just come here, copy, paste it in, and be done with it. But the point is, you can go into Facebook, and a lot of people don't realize this exists. You can actually go in, and instead of just taking the link to the content, you can actually get this embed. And what that means is it will actually put it into your site. So here, I'm going to show you on my site. Now, I don't, oops, wrong one. The example I'm going to show you is from, I use the YouTube ones, but that's just personal preference. Your mileage may vary. And for the sake of this conversation, we're talking about Facebook. It's the same concept. I'm just going to show you what it looks like, what the actual embed looks like. All it's doing is it's actually going to take the video from where it's stored on Facebook. It's going to bring it into your website, and you don't have to do anything. Now, the one caveat about this is people will not be able to see or leave comments when you do the embed, but you know what? That's okay. You don't need to get comments on every single thing that you're doing. One sec. Okay, so let's see. Oops, no, I need the watch page. So I have a watch page that I populate for every show. Oh, that's funny. It didn't actually update. Okay, I'll have to go fix that later. But you can see what it's doing is it actually puts the entire show, right, the whole video right in here. And all people have to do is click, and it's ready to rock and roll. I'm not going to do that because you don't need to hear me talking twice. But that's the concept behind what we're talking about. So you take one little nugget of information from whatever your post was, expand on it just a tiny bit, just to flesh it out a little bit more in the text, and then in that text that you're writing for the blog post, say, hey, if you're interested in this topic and you want to learn more, click below. I've got the video for you where we talked about this and some other things that are related, and people will have it there for them to go and look at. So right there, you've done this. Now you've driven more traffic, right, to your website because you've got the blog post there. It's new content. The search engines are going to notice that. People will find it when they're searching, that, which means they will find your website, which is a good thing. And they've watched your content, which may lead them to want more. And that's what you're doing. And that's all from a post that you already did. Really easy, simple, does not take a ton of time. And once it's there, and you can refer to it and reuse it however you like later. Make sense? We good? We're good. I like that. Okay, so let me switch devices here. The next one that we are going to talk about is spreading the wealth. Okay, so what you're going to do is, again, whatever that content was that you put on your Facebook business page, you're going to take that and you're going to spread it out amongst the socials, right? So you're going to post it on Twitter and on Medium and on Tumblr and Instagram and Pinterest and wherever it is that you like to put your content, you're going to put it there. Now, this is a great way to, again, get the word out there, maybe find an audience that didn't know you existed, find new people, right? Not everybody comes to Facebook. Not everybody wants to be in Facebook. But if your content is compelling enough, they'll come and look at it. And even if they don't, by putting the information out there on the different socials, you're spreading the news that way. And so they will come and find your website or however else you do business. So you can just take the post that you did and turn that into a social media post. You can use a tool like Hootsuite or Later or something like that to schedule them in advance, right? So you could schedule them out for the next year, right? Have it show up every couple of months, however it is that works best. You know, maybe you've got a seasonal business and so you want to kind of clump them around seasons, whatever it is that works best for you. The point is you can just take what you've done, put it out there, use a scheduling tool which frees you from having to remember to do it, right? You can sit down one afternoon with a cup of tea and just fill it up and then let it take care of itself. Who doesn't love that? Another way to do this, to get even more power out of it, is to maybe take your original content and, again, cut it down, especially if it's a video. So if you do, let's say you do a 15-minute video, a half-hour video, go in and take a 3-minute or a 5-minute cut and then turn that into its own piece of content that you can send out across the socials, right? Because not everybody's going to watch a 15-minute or a half-hour or an hour video, whether it's a live stream or recorded. Or, you know, if you tend to write really long blog posts, and not everybody's going to do that, right? Not everybody has the time or the attention span. So if you can take one piece out of it, whether it's a 2-minute video or a, you know, 1-paragraph blog post, and then send that out across all the different social medias, you're going to get different people's attention than you would have gotten with your original post. I'm not saying that one is better than the other, because it's not. What I'm saying is different people are going to consume your content different ways. Make sure you provide it to them that way. And again, you're not having to reinvent the wheel here, right? You're going to go and, you know, if you don't want to do the cutting down, you can have a virtual assistant do it or have somebody who works for you do it, and just tell them, okay, you know, just circle on something. It's like, okay, this piece here, you know, I want to send out, you know, in September, and this piece here, I want it to go out in October, and let them do it for you. However your workflow works for you is fine. The point is, big things can go down to smaller things, which can then be sent out. And it's okay to post the full thing and a few small things from it, because different people are going to see it. So it's not a problem that to you it looks like repetitive content, because it's not. You're repackaging it in a way that is more easily consumable for people who need it that way. Pretty simple, right? Pretty straightforward. Okay, we're going to get down to number 3. And that is edit, update, change the tags, refresh the thumbnail, redress it a little bit. So you could go back into an existing post, and actually let's go do that. Hang on. So again, I'm going to use this one that I did last week as an example. So you can come in and you can do edit post. And you can change the title, right? Freshen it up. Maybe it didn't catch, you know, the keywords weren't in there, or the phrasing wasn't exactly right. You can change the title. There's nothing wrong with doing that. You can add information in the description. Maybe add links that you referenced during the conversation. Put that in there. Maybe over time you've ended up with content that is related, that you didn't know was going to be related when you were setting everything up. So you could come back to these other ones and you could cross-reference in each one, right? So, this one's about contests, maybe I would do another one that just talked about sweepstakes, whatever. So you would go back into both of those and cross-reference each other. And that way, if somebody finds one, they're more likely to go and look at the other one. The other thing that's a good idea to do every once in a while is maybe go back and refresh your tags. Add some new ones, take some ones out, whatever feels right to you. Again, there's nothing wrong with this. It doesn't take a ton of time, but it is a great way to get fresh eyes on existing content. And because you've made changes to it, it's now new to the search engines, and so it's more likely going to bubble up at that point. Another one is to just go ahead and update your thumbnails, right? Maybe the thumbnail is not catching people's attention, or maybe you've decided to change your style a little bit, or maybe you just want to change this thumbnail for whatever reason comes to mind. You can go ahead and do that. You can go ahead, change that up, go into Canva or have your graphic designer create something new for you. You can come in here, you can switch it up, and then the next time somebody goes looking, it'll have a fresh look to it. And that's really all we're talking about here. We're talking about repurposing your content in a way to refresh it. You can add to it, right? Sometimes, you do a blog post or you do a video or a live show, and then information changes, down the road. I mean, that happens all the time when I talk about like Facebook, because everything's always changing in Facebook. So that's okay, because then what you can do is you go back in and you put a little thing that says update and go, well, since I did this, this has changed and blah, blah, blah. That has now made that existing post much more valuable because you've given them the context that you'd originally given them, and you've given them the updated information, so they're up to date without having to go and piece it together, which makes it more valuable, and it makes it more likely that they're going to refer it, that search engine's going to refer it, all that kind of good stuff. So again, this is not about you having to strip everything apart and rebuild it every single time. Just doing one of these three things every once in a while to your content is a great way to get that extra mileage out of the stuff you've already done. It also communicates to your audience that you're paying attention, right? That you are keeping an eye on things, that you're not just throwing stuff out there and letting it wither and die. You are cultivating it. You are maintaining it. You are making sure that you are giving them the best that you possibly can. And let me tell you, that kind of stuff makes an impression on people. People do notice when they go and they're looking at content and they're looking at something that people are providing and it's stale, right? It hasn't been updated at all. It's completely out of date. Now, again, I'm not saying that this should become a major stress point for you. It's not like you have to go back into every single blog post and constantly update it. Look at the ones that are doing well. Look at the ones that you thought were going to do better that didn't. Focus on those. And then, repurpose that, while you're also, of course, putting out new content along the way. You do want to keep that balance. But by doing both things, you're going to reduce your stress. You're not going to feel like you have to come up with new content every single time. And the content that you've already got is going to serve you and your audience better, which is a good thing. So, if you would like to know what is coming up on future shows, make sure you go to yourtechcoach.net/mailing list and sign up. Every week I send out a notice letting everybody know what the topic's going to be, and sometimes just sharing general information that's come up or letting you know other things that are bubbling up that are in the background that I don't necessarily talk about here on the show. If you have an idea for the show, feel free to reach out. Go to the website, yourtechcoach.net. There's a contact form there. Let me know if you have a question, if you have a topic you want me to cover. That's where most of my great content comes from, frankly, is people asking me questions. So feel free to go ahead and reach out here. The only thing I ask is that if you have a question that you need a fast answer to, let me know that and let me know how to get back in touch with you, and I will respond as quickly as possible. If otherwise, I'm going to assume that it's just something you want me to cover in a future show. Okay? All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Remember, give your existing content a little love and some new life, and it will definitely help get the word out about you and your business and help your audience and customers and potential customers get even more value and find out how much you have to offer to them. Have a good one, everybody. We'll talk soon. Bye.